So, taking a moment or two right here, wherever you are, wherever you've landed in your room, to kind of notice your space. And when I say notice, I don't necessarily mean eyes open. That's one way to notice. But there's other ways to notice, right? So, you might be able to, with eyes closed, almost have a sense, like I think of echolocation, like almost have a sense of the size of the, like where the walls are. You may be able to have a sense of where the light is coming in from, even with closed eyes. You can certainly, with eyes open or closed, notice what parts of your body are making contact with surfaces right now. And you might come towards that contact, that sort of space between you and another surface, with a memory that this surface can indeed hold you up. So less effort is required on your part in this moment. So, as we pause here, continuing to feel that freedom to move or shift in any way, so that you're not having to wait for me to invite you to do something. If your body's already inviting you to do something, feeling free to join the dance. And the possibility here, I am going to offer a couple other pieces of movement, but before I do so, just this possibility of bringing our awareness towards our breathing for a moment or two. And so you might have your arms by your sides, or you might have your hands on yourself. Like, certainly, hands to yourself will probably give you more feedback. So, if you want a little more tactile feedback or proprioceptive feedback, you can bring your hands to your belly or to your heart or anywhere along your body. And then not insisting on any particular kind of breath, right? So just however your breath is moving now, maybe keeping it soft, maybe keeping it a little non-insistent. And with that, this possibility of bringing your awareness to the way your body's moving as a result of your breathing. So these might be very subtle things. In some bodies, it's more obvious than others. But you might be able to, with hands on your body, feel into your belly or your chest rising or falling. You might be able to feel into the ribs kind of gently expanding and knitting back together. You might be able to feel that slight coolness of the air as you breathe in, and a very slight warmth as you breathe out. And with that noticing, just remembering that this body is somehow containing multitudes. Like, there's big emotions that might come up even as we practice, right? And lots of thoughts, like they can be, thoughts that are true and thoughts that are untrue. And we can't always tell the difference, but, thinking patterns and scary or dark thoughts. And so remembering that that's all kinds of energy. that all that stuff is going to happen. And we all have dark, scary thoughts at times. We all have big, big emotions that feel like we're going to burst out of our skin sometimes. So it's that same, if possible, that same curiosity, that same compassion for this body of yours that is trying so hard to live in these days. It's trying so hard to protect you. It's trying so hard to keep you safe. It doesn't always get it right. It overreacts sometimes, it underreacts sometimes. Still, still here we are in these bodies of ours that are trying so hard, that love us so much. So you might find that you want to continue in stillness. There may be some words or some conversation to have with yourself. So just proceeding in any way, any gentle way. For those of you who think they might want to move some more at this time, it could be that you now draw knees to chest. This is one possibility. You might pause here in this kind of lying down seed pose or seated seed pose, or you might want to rock or sway. Coming back to this moment, of this position of your body, this weight that you have, being allowed to carry this weight in this world. All right. So from here, the possibility of bringing the feet back down if you've had the knees up, lifting the right knee and bringing the right ankle sort of on top or to the front of the left knee. So we don't do this very often, but we're going to see. So if this feels like a yes, if this feels okay, you can stay here. If this feels like something weird is happening in the hip, then you might instead cross the legs in this way, see if that's better. So we're just playing with some sensations through the outer hip. So it could be that you land here. It could be that you land more here. And wherever you land, pausing here for a moment to rock a little bit. Just seeing if the head can be, as heavy as it is, if the shoulders can do less. There's a lot going on through your face today, like tension and stress and stuff. Maybe bringing hands to your face, or it could be more to sort of lift and lower the eyebrows and even like scrunch all the facial features together and then kind of release them. All right. And then you might stay here wherever you are. For some folks, it might be that you now lift. So the leg that's foundational, the foot that's on the floor, you might lift that up and wrap or hold on to these legs somehow and rock some more. Now, this is going to be a much bigger stretch to the outside of the lifted leg. So that may be a yes, maybe a no. Again, it could be that you go into this position more. So this could be with feet off the ground. Could be that you keep the leg on the ground. So just play with these different patterns, see what feels good. And then as you're ready, you can kind of release that top leg. Come back to center and just wiggle the toes in any way. Maybe lift and lower the heels, move the feet around a little bit. And then changing sides, so lifting the well, whatever the opposite is for you. For me, I'm now lifting the left foot onto the right knee and either here or crossing the legs. Remember, it doesn't have to be the same thing that you did on the first side. It doesn't have to be symmetrical because our bodies are not necessarily symmetrical. We're not aiming for that at all. And you can either stay here with the foot on the ground, or some of us might lift the foot and pause or rock, or cross the legs and pause or rock. So, any of these possibilities. Even having a sense that you don't have to land somewhere, like you can continue to shift it up and switch what you're doing a little bit. Eventually unhooking the legs, coming back to center. And now just noticing whether this would feel welcome or not. So some of us might go into the pelvic tilts, and you guys know what I mean by that. So you can go ahead if that feels like yours. And some of us might want to stay there. Others might go into a bridge, pressing the feet down, lifting the hips up any amount. Keeping the head heavy, keeping the face as soft as you can. So if you have been lifting and lowering from bridge, then eventually allowing your hips to come back down and let them get heavier on the floor. And for the next, 4 or 5 breaths, just see if there's anything else that wants to happen in the body. So whether it's going into a twist or drawing knees to chest again, whether it's some kind of stretch or a combination of all of those things. Whenever you're ready, you can begin to settle in slowly for your final resting position, whatever that may be today. Whether you're seated with your back supported or lying on your belly, on your back, or on your side. Just noticing as you settle in, as you allow the floor or the chair to support you, noticing whether there's anything else you can do in this moment to gather yourself, to gather your shattered self. So whether that's a self hug or a blanket that's tucked in, whether that's something across the eyes, is there anything else that might feel soothing in this moment? And then this moment, perhaps, of honoring what you were able to do today. So, some kind of silent thank you, acknowledgement to the body, to the parts of the body. to what was possible and available for movement today. And also giving yourself permission to rest, as if you didn't have to try to get anywhere, you don't have to try to relax or release, like just allowing yourself to be as you are in this moment, allowing the floor to hold you up. Just this. If you're going to continue to rest, then please ignore these next invitations. If you're moving to another part of your day, then you might now to begin just turn your awareness towards your inhales. Sometimes just in that focusing on the inhale, it might begin to be broader or deeper in some way. You can also gently deepen your inhales on purpose if you wish. Beginning to move, wiggle fingers and toes, move hands and feet. And as you breathe, allowing more movement back in the body. So it might be through your spine, it might be through your limbs, any kind of stretch, anything at all. If you've been lying down, you might now slowly roll to your side and pause here. Taking your time to come up to sit. So let's close our time together as we do. Eyes open or eyes closed. Hands might come together or come to you or the earth somehow. Perhaps sending a breath or silent thank you to the others practicing alongside you. Offering that same kindness to yourself. And maybe even bowing your head to the wisdom that's already inside this good body of yours. And so it is.